can I say? God is such a good God. The question that I would ask, or if someone would ask me this question, who is Jesus to you? I would answer, he is my protector, he's my savior, he's my best friend, my comforter, my deliverer, my rewarder, my sustainer, my provider, my strong defense, my healer, my fulfillment, my all in all. Amen. And for every one of those, there's a story behind it. Literally, there's a testimony behind it. And one of the, I will go ahead and I will say, what the devil meant for evil, the Lord always turned it around for good. And I'm going to make this statement. God is intentional. In Genesis 50 verse 20, Joseph said, you thought it for evil, but God turned it around for good. Right. And so, time would fail me to go into everything. So I'm going to just say, God blessed me with a husband when I had no intention of getting married. He caused my husband, or the Jamaican High Commission, and this is a testimony in itself. The Lord caused the Jamaican High Commission to be opened, the immigration to be opened on a Saturday to grant my husband a visa when man said it was impossible. God kept my blood pressure at 120/80 when I went into early labor and I lost my babies at 5.5 months. Thank God for my sister who was with me. But it was the God that I serve who was not just my comforter, he was my healer, he was my deliverer. He was the one that literally stuck closer than a brother. My husband was in Jamaica at that time. Wow. My blood pressure remained 120/80. Wow. He gave me children when doctors said it was impossible. In fact, they actually scheduled a hysterectomy. But we decided we're not going to believe the report of man, we're going to believe the report of God. Amen. He gave me a son after the enemy stole one at 10 weeks pregnancy. And this son, literally, the Lord used to bring me out of depression. Getting up in the morning saying, Mom, you're the best mom in the whole world. And for 6 months, that was my life. He brought me through surgery, thyroid surgery, without pain, without a pinch of pain. And after I said, God, you want me to go do surgery? You get me out of this without pain. He did it. He gave me back my voice. After doctor said, for 6 months I would not speak. And I said, the God that I serve, he is going to give me back my voice. I'm speaking. There you go. And I could go on and on, but I'm going to go back to why I'm here. See, I wasn't supposed to have been here. I have 6 other siblings. I'm the middle child. I'm the runt of the family. My mom named me Little, Little. And I oftentimes wonder why. But when I was 9, she got saved, and I watched her life, because prior to that she would curse like a sailor. But I watched her life change. And so I began to ask, why did you name me Little? She said, when she was pregnant with me, she was sick from the start, and so my dad and her, they literally spent their life savings to try to get her better. When I was born at 9 months, I was so small she had to carry me around in a pillow, thus the name Little. And for the first 13 years of my life, I was actually sick. I remember going to the doctor, being admitted in the hospital, needles, you name it. They would pin me down to give me needles. To this day, I hate needles from that medicine. But at age 13, I started to get better, and it was at that time 2014. She went in the hospital. She was there for 6 weeks. And it was during that time I'm like, Lord, I didn't even know that was a prayer, but now I know. I'm like, Lord, if my mom passed away today, I'm going to be separated from her. And I was always close to my mom. And so I remember on my 14th birthday, it was a Friday night, I went to church and I decided I was going to give my heart to the Lord. And I remember coming out, it was actually my birthday. I walked out, I looked up in the sky, the stars were brighter. And so I thought, that's good. I got up the following morning and it was the day looked brighter, everything looked new, and I thought everybody had that experience. Well, was it wrong? But anyway, my mom was happy for me, my dad wasn't. And I was very close to both. But my dad said, I went down to the church, the pastor brainwashed me, and on he went. But I clung to the Lord because I knew what he did for me that day. Sadly, a year later, my mom passed away. So I was 15 years old, my mom passed away. And my dad, who was not saved, decided he was going to prevent me from going to church. It was okay to go Sunday morning, but at Sunday night he would say, go to bed at 7 o'clock. And at 15 years old, I obeyed. Because the Bible said you obey your parents. And I did. But I went in that room and I said, Lord, if you see where my dad is going to cause me to walk away from you, move him. And I was specific in saying, move him, not kill him. Move him. And he did. Remember, I said, God is intentional. A week later, the Lord moved him to Canada. And so for 3 years, every time the church door was open, I was there. I did everything. It was God. I write everything. Jesus is Lord over my life. My dad said, she's lost it. Somebody tell her she's crazy. I said, yes, I lost my mind. Because I now have the mind of Christ. And so now I'm going to jump from there to 2014. 2014, from 2019, I had a bullseye on my leg. And I went to the doctors, I told them what it was, and she, you're fine. So from 2009 until 2014, I had no medication, I had nothing. And then finally I got a doctor who would do the test. By the time they did the test, I didn't just have Lyme's disease, but I had chronic Lyme disease. And I was so angry at that doctor that I literally had to walk around and God, I forgive this doctor. The 70 times 7 you talk about? I had to forgive her 70 times 7, literally. Because I said that could have been prevented in 2009. But anyway, from 2014 until 2015, I exhausted all the finances that I had because the medication is not covered under OIM. And I remember going to church with my last $5 US in my purse, and I said, Lord, in my hand, this is nothing. I can't pay for the medication, but in your hand you can work miracles. Amen. And I wrote on the envelope, Philippians 4:19, which is, but my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. As soon as that envelope went through the pew, my husband's phone rang not once but twice. He went outside, came back, and he said, I invited somebody over. And I was angry because, honestly, I was in pain. You name it. There were so many different sicknesses that I was enduring. This minute, one place would be hurting, the next, sometimes from head to toe. And it just went on. And all I wanted to do was go home, cover my head with a blanket, and just cry myself to sleep like I did for a year. But the gentleman came over in the afternoon and he said, Audia, he gave me the time. The very moment that I released that $5 was the very moment that the Lord spoke to him and said, go give her $700, which really was pretty interesting because at that moment, I had already heard of a place in the States where I could get the medication. It would be $500 and something. I have my receipt right there. And so I was able to do the down payment. The guy called me back. He said, Audia, come and pick the medication up. And I said, how much? And after a couple times, he said, come. It is paid for. Oh my God. It's paid for. But not only is it paid for, or was it paid for on the 3rd of August, and once again, I have my stuff right there. From August 3rd of 2015 until March of 2018, it was paid for in full. I never had to put down 1 cent after that. We're talking about the goodness of God. And so I was taking it and I decided, the word says, Proverbs 4:20 to 24, it says, put the word of God in your eyes, in your ears, in your heart, and in your mouth. And so I went through the scripture and I found hidden scriptures. And I would recite them. I went on fasting. You name it, I did it because I did not want to go through the pain anymore. And nothing was happening. So, not that nothing was happening. God was working behind the scene. But on the 15th of March, 2017, I had gotten up and, I was just tired of pain. To be honest with you, for me to walk from here to where Jennifer is at, I would have to be walking, dragging myself, sitting before I get here. That's how bad it was. And so on that morning, I'm like, God, as a matter of fact, I go back on, like I woke up, and I saw, it looked like a 13-inch screen, like a TV screen, but it was turned off, and there was a scripture that scrolled by, and I knew it was a scripture, but I didn't pay any attention to it. And so about 10 o'clock, I felt, I'm frustrated, I'm home by myself. I had not been to a store for about a year, literally a year. And so I'm just like, God, you know what, I've had enough. I have had enough. And I decided at 10:30, I'm just going to go on a rant, on a praise. God, you know what, my life I've served you. I've been saved from I was 14 years old. I've done everything that you want me to do. You told me February 9th, 1989, come on from among them being separated, touch that unclean thing. I will be a father to you and you will be my son or my daughter. I said, I'm your daughter. I shouldn't be grappling, like open in the dark. God, and I'm in a rage. I ran up the stairs with all the energy that I had, and I sat there, and all of a sudden I remember I needed to go to the bathroom. So I mustered up the strength, and I went back down, and I was going back up. And I went, Lord, what was the scripture again? And over my right shoulder, I heard 2 Kings 20 and verse 5. And I chuckled because I'm like, Kings? Okay. And when I chuckled, I went up, I opened my Bible. And it was about Hezekiah, but this verse that stood out was, thus says the Lord, the God of David, your father, I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears, behold, I will heal you. When I remember he rose in my seat, I'm like, God, the God of the universe, the God that I serve, the one who said he adopted me, he just spoke to me. And I thought at that moment that it would have been done like that. It was through this that I met Jody. I went to church and the Lord said to me, go to Jody to pray for you. I'm like, I don't know her. And so I said, if you want me to, just send my husband somewhere to do something. He turned to me, he goes, after church, I'm going to go talk to somebody. I went to her, we prayed. That was the connection. Same thing for Jennifer. My husband went somewhere else. I'm sitting there, she's standing up there, like, oh, I'm going to go for prayer. I went to the next connection. You know, and like I said, the intention of God. You know, because he was the one who orchestrated us being together. We prayed together. We've seen some awesome move of God when we pray. You know, but what I'm trying to get at is the fact that the moment God said, "I heard your prayer, I've seen your tears. Behold, I will heal you," I decided, okay, well, if you said it, God, I'm taking you at your word. Because Romans 3 and verse 4, I think, says, let every man be true, or let every man be a liar and God be truthful. And I choose to believe God. So I can walk out. And the last Sunday in May 2018, I was at an encounter service. And I sure had an encounter. Because Pastor Villette said, you know, let's go down to the front. And I said, my husband turned to me, he goes, let's go down to the front. And I said, you know what, no, I don't want to. I just don't want to. It was just one of those days. And I remember I watched him go and I got convicted. And so I'm like, okay, I will go down. But I would literally have to hold on to him. I had no strength. And so I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, I gotta get there, but how? And I stepped out into the aisle, and as I was walking, I literally felt as if someone had poured hot oil on the top of my head. And it began to run all the way down to my neck, and I stopped because I'm, whoa, I don't want to fall here. I've never had this experience before. Is it the Lyme disease? And I stopped. And it stopped. So I decided, okay. I began to walk, and it got to my waist. And I'm looking at my husband, I'm like, okay, God, please help me that I get to him before I fall, because I know he will catch me if I fall. But, and, you know, they could say, well, I'm slain. But I don't want that to be the experience. So anyway, I decided I'm going to hurry. And I get close to him. And as I was hurrying, it was going down, and I stopped here. I'm like, I think I'm close enough. And so when I stopped, I just threw my hands in the air and I'm like, you know what, God, I know, based on what your word says, March 15th, 2017 at 11:40 in the morning, you said you heard me. You said you healed me, so I'm taking it right now. Amen. And I put my hand up and I'm sweating, like literally dripping. In a long dress and water is literally running off of me. And I closed my eyes and I'm just worshiping God, and I looked. Here's my pastor standing right beside me. I was so hot, I'm like, okay, Pastor, I am healed by the stripes of Jesus. I am healed. Because I knew that day that it was done. I knew that day it was done. He called me up and said, come share your testimony. When I did, I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, okay, well, you know, the strobe lights must be really causing everybody to be hot. I looked, everybody is nice and dry, and I'm the only one that's wet, like literally wet. God did it that day. I walked into the store, and when I walked in the store, I have been out of touch with life to the point where when the lady said to me, you need to tap. She said, tap. Use your card to tap. I said, what's that? What's that? My husband saved me. He goes, oh, she doesn't walk very often. You know, I'm telling you, God is real. Yeah. God is real. Yeah. I'm walking. I feel like get up and run right now. I can't. Ask me 2017. I was homebound. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do nothing. My family didn't know it. But that's how bad it was. You know, and so the goodness of God. Yes. The goodness of God, that song, that's my life. God together.
Amen.
All my papers are right here. Medications are right here. I bring it just so that somebody doesn't go, oh, this is just a story. No, I have them right here, and I'll show you. Wow. These are the medication that I was on.
For how many? Wow.
4 times a day. 4 times per day. It's right here. My receipt, the down payment of $200 is right here. The scriptures that I stood on is right here. And then it goes on. That's the goodness of God.
Amen.